What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video, I'll once again be talking about Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Now, it's a couple of statements that I made in previous videos that I've been thinking a lot about. A lot of these statements I've been making. Now, for starters, I am happy that I did get some predictions right. It always feels good when you were one of the only people, or one of the few people, or possibly even the only person who said that you thought something was going to happen in regards to a story, and it actually ended up happening. As a matter of fact, I literally made my chapter 48 preview and predictions video. It came out literally the same day as my chapter 47 review, which literally both of those videos came out right after chapter 47 came out on the same day. So I'm pretty sure I was the first person, if not the only person, to get the prediction right. To actually predict that Kashi and Koji was gonna reverse summon back to Mount Miyaboku. Some other people might have thought he might have a chance to survive him, but I predicted the exact scenario and the exact way that he survived, which was reverse summoning back to Mount Miyaboku. Now, in that same video, I made a comment saying that I do not think Kawaki or Boruto were being controlled by Aotsutsuki clan members during the flash forward sequence when they activated their karma seals. I still stand on that statement. I still don't think they were being controlled. Now, here's the thing, though. I don't think it's impossible, and I do think it's a very, very, very small possibility that they are being controlled by those Suzuki clan members. Simply due to the fact that Kawaki did say he's gonna send Naruto. He's gonna send Boruto to where he sent the 7th Hokage, Naruto. Now, the thing with that is, I personally think what he was talking about is Ishiki's Dojutsu dimension. And his Dojutsu dimension is the same dimension we seen him talk about and use in chapter 48, the last chapter that just came out, where he was sending shrunk objects. He was sending every object that he shrunk, he sent into his own pocket dimension, which is linked to his Dojutsu. And this dimension is completely void of time. So basically, time do not pass in that dimension. Time stands still. And as far as his dimension goes, I think it's very similar to Obito's. Since Obito's dimension was linked, his Kamui dimension was linked to his Mangekyo Sharingan, meaning you needed to have his Mangekyo Sharingan in order to send things to that dimension, or go into that dimension, or interact with that dimension in any way, shape, or form. You need Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan. Now, I think the same is the case with Ishiki's dimension. So Kawaki making that statement could insinuate that maybe Kawaki is actually being controlled by Ishiki, and maybe Ishiki during this at the end of this Kara arc, Kara/Kawaki arc, maybe he sends Naruto. Maybe he puts Naruto in that pot thing, because you know that big old pot that he trapped Naruto in after he got done fighting Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke teleported back to the Hidden Leaf Village, and then he trapped Naruto in this pot. Maybe he can trap Naruto in a pot again, and then send him into his pocket dimension that's linked to his Dojutsu. Now, there's another possibility as well. Maybe Kawaki simply has access to that dimension now. Maybe Kawaki has full access and control over all of Ishiki Aotsutsuki's powers. Now, what I personally think is going to happen is, I think maybe that's the case. Maybe Naruto got sent to that dimension, but I think Kawaki and Boruto are both going to end up suppressing the Aotsutsuki inside of them, while at the same time being able to access the full power of the Aotsutsuki inside of them, but they'll be under control of those Aotsutsuki. Similarly, it's going to be, basically, I see it being similar to how Naruto suppressed the Nine Tails. Kurama, he suppressed the Nine Tails, and he wasn't even friends with the Nine Tails. I'm talking about when he first got KCM. Before he got KCM 2, before he got the full power of the Nine Tails, he was able to access a portion of the Nine Tails chakra before he actually set the Nine Tails free and undid the cage and all that, and became friends with the Nine Tails and partners with the Nine Tails. He was able to suppress the Nine Tails, basically beat the Nine Tails up, and force the Nine Tails to give him power. Something similar could be happening with Boruto in regards to Momoshiki, and Kawaki in regards to Ishiki. They could be suppressing the Aotsutsuki inside of them inside of them, while at the same time having gaining access to those Otsutsuki's powers. So Kawaki, when he said, "I'm gonna send you to where I sent the seventh," maybe Ishiki did send Naruto to his pocket dimension, but maybe Kawaki now has access to that dimension now, and maybe he knows Naruto is there, and he's keeping Naruto there purposely. Now here's the thing. Now that we get into that stuff, well, actually, one quick thing before I continue on, because it's some other stuff I'm gonna talk about. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna come back to the whole flash forward sequence later. But here's the second thing I wanted to talk about. The video that I uploaded a while ago, about Kakashi working with Korra. I'm almost completely against that theory now. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, because it's still a possibility, but I do not see that thing happening. That whole theory video, all that stuff I was talking about in that video, I don't see any of that stuff happening. Now, however, I did still want to upload the video. It's still fun to, discuss different possibilities and stuff like that. But first off, I do not know where that interview was. I don't know what interview that was, or where the interview is at, that I was talking about in that video. The interview that one of the Boruto creators said Kakashi is going to play an important role. I don't know where that theory is. I mean, that interview is where they said that. I do have a really good memory, I believe, and plus I heard about this not too long ago, so I'm pretty sure the theory is true. I mean, I'm pretty sure the interview actually happened, and I'm pretty sure they might have said that. However, I don't know where that stuff is. But point being, I think Kakashi might die. That could be the role he served, because from what I heard in another interview, I know I keep on talking about these interviews. I don't know where these interviews are. I just hear stuff from interviews. So yeah, it is what it is. There, maybe I heard somebody else talking about the interview. Maybe I seen the interview myself, but I don't remember seeing these specific interviews. I remember seeing some stuff about this stuff. Anyways, Kakashi could possibly die because I believe Kishimoto said he gave Kodachi, who's the writer of the Boruto manga, I believe he said he gave him permission to kill off any Naruto characters, any characters who were introduced in the Naruto manga. He gave, essentially, I believe he said he gave him permission to kill off any characters, as long as it's done right, because Kishimoto is still overseeing the Boruto manga. He's still supervising Boruto in general. He's supervising the whole story of Boruto. And in fact, the whole time travel arc from the anime, that was Kishimoto's idea. He's the one who proposed that. So Kishimoto, while he might not be directly writing everything going on with Boruto, he is still involved with the story process of Boruto, and he's still supervising. Now, Kakashi could die. Maybe Ishiki will kill Kakashi. Maybe Kakashi is gonna jump in and try to save and protect Naruto and Sasuke from Ishiki. Because that's something that Kakashi obviously would do. He cares about his students. He loves his students. He was even willing to risk his life to protect Naruto and Sasuke against Kage. So I don't see why he wouldn't do that again. Now, so yeah, I just want to quickly mention that. Now, another thing regarding the flash forward sequence. The cool thing about that is, while we do know we do know Boruto and Kawaki are eventually gonna fight, but we don't know what's gonna lead. We don't know exactly what's going on in that sequence. Like some people are, like I said, some people are saying that they think Ishiki is controlling Kawaki. I'm completely against that. And just to add a little bit more detail as to why I'm against that theory is because Boruto and Kawaki are not stupid. They're not stupid, and the reason I say that is because once Kawaki gets the Karma Seal again, because Ishiki is obviously going to reimplant the Karma Seal on Kawaki. Once Kawaki gets this Karma Seal again, him and Boruto are going to try to find out how to either suppress, because, well, technically, if you guys don't remember, I'm pretty sure Kawaki stated, as a matter of fact, I'm 100% sure, Kawaki stated a long time ago that he wants to get rid of the Karma Seal. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen. He's not going to actually get rid of the Karma Seal because we see him with the Karma Seal in the flash forward sequence. But something's going to happen. I think Boruto, like I said in my video where I talked about the future of Boruto, I think Boruto and Kawaki are possibly going to go into outer space. And basically, first of all, we know humans from the Naruto verse can breathe in outer space because Naruto literally fought on the moon. So, I mean, I just wanted to throw that in there. They'll be able to easily travel through outer space, I believe. Anyways, I think they're gonna Kawaki and Boruto are both gonna go into outer space and try to learn more about the Otsutsuki clan, so they can figure out a way to uh, stop the Otsutsuki who are inside of them from fully taking over their bodies. In other words, they're going to try to suppress the Otsutsuki who are inside of them, and while they're doing that, they're going to also gain access to the power of those Otsutsuki. That's what I see happening. So, Boruto and Kawaki aren't stupid. They're not just going to sit around and let the Otsutsuki take control of them. So, I do not see a scenario where Kawaki and Boruto are being controlled by their respective Otsutsuki that's inside of them during that flash forward sequence. Another thing is, they're very familiar with each other. They're basically brothers at this point. Kawaki and Boruto. Kawaki has been living with Boruto for a while now. The anime is most likely gonna extend the scenes and add more detail to their relationship. But they're basically brothers now. They even refer to each other as, well, Boruto calls Kawaki bro, which is short for brother. They live in the same house. Naruto is essentially basically Kawaki's new father, and etc. They know each other. Point being, they know each other pretty well. So I do not think they wouldn't notice if the other one is being controlled. For example, if Kawaki was controlled by Ishiki, I think Boruto would pick up on that. He knows Kawaki's mannerisms. He's very familiar with Kawaki. He essentially, he's going to grow up with Kawaki. He's going to spend a lot more time with Kawaki. He's already spent a lot of time with Kawaki as it is right now. He's been living with Kawaki for a while now. So, I think Boruto knows Kawaki enough to know if Kawaki is being controlled or not, and vice versa. I think the same is the case when it comes to Boruto. I think Kawaki knows Boruto enough to know Boruto's mannerisms and his characteristics and stuff like that to know if he's being controlled or not. I think they'll know if the other person is being themselves or not. That's essentially the point. So, yeah, I just wanted to address those things very quickly. Well, this wasn't really quick. It's a 12-minute video now, but I wanted to address those all that stuff that I talked about. And oh yeah, one more thing I gotta address. And I'm happy I didn't forget this. Regarding Kashi and Koji, all of that stuff, like I said, that stuff that I talked about in my video where I talked about Kakashi helping out Kara, I don't see any of that stuff happening anymore. All that stuff I talk about is still a possibility, but I don't believe that stuff is gonna happen anymore. What I do think is gonna, as far as the stuff with Kashi and Koji go, as far as how is he able to use all these jutsu, I simply think it's gonna be instinct. I think he instinctively already knew all of these jutsu, or he's gonna instinctively be able to learn all of these jutsu by default. Essentially, I don't think the manga, I don't think they're gonna explain too much about Kashi and Koji as far as how he's able to do all these different jutsu. I think what the writers are gonna do is they're gonna simply say, well, since he's a clone of Jiraiya, he instinctively knew all of these jutsu, or it was just easy for him to learn all of this stuff because he instinctively knew all these jutsu. Pretty much instincts, basically. Since Jiraiya did a lot of these jutsu in his life, Kashi and Koji might just know how to do all this stuff by default. So basically, I don't think Kashi and Koji is gonna have any of Jiraiya's memories. If he does, I don't think he's gonna have a lot of them. All right, let me be very clear, because I've been like stuttering, and let me just be very clear. I do not think Kashi and Koji has Jiraiya's memories, and I do not think he was trained by Kakashi. And maybe I still think it's likely that he might have spent some time in the Hidden Leaf Village. He did tell Mato that he feel like he's bonded to the Hidden Leaf Village by fate or something like that. Maybe he didn't. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, that statement could imply that he didn't spend time with the Hidden Leaf Village. Because think about it, he was in the Hidden Leaf Village, and when he came there with Delta, yeah, that's who he was with, Delta. He wasn't with Amato, he was with Delta. Anyways, he came to the Hidden Leaf Village, and he was like, yeah, it feels like I'm connected with this village by fate or something like that. That could imply he didn't really spend time in the Hidden Leaf Village, but it could imply that he just feels like that's his home, kind of. Because whether he knows he's a clone of Jiraiya or not, he could just feel that he belongs there. You know, it could be something like that. But yeah, as far as how he's able to use these jutsu, it could be simple. Well, first of all, let's get something clear. As far as here's another thing I said in my video that I made about Kakashi. Um, you can learn different. You can train to learn different chakra natures. However, I don't think you can train to learn every different chakra nature. There's a limit to it. Only Rinnegan users can use all different chakra natures, as well as people who get six paths power. I believe people who get six paths power can't use all the chakra natures as well. But I know Rinnegan users can use all the chakra natures. But here's the thing. Um, you need to have an infinity. You need to have an infinity for the chakra nature. So, for example, I believe you can only learn like a couple of, like maybe one or two or three different chakra natures. But when shinobi are born, they're born with an affinity for a certain chakra nature. That's why all the Uchiha they're already born with an affinity for fire style. That's why all of the Uchiha can use fireball jutsu. So as far as all those fire style techniques, maybe since most likely Kashin Koji is a synthetic human clone of Jiraiya, essentially Jiraiya's son, since he has Jiraiya's DNA, but he's not an actual full clone of Jiraiya. I think he has his own person. First of all, we know he has his own personality. He's not like he wasn't flustered by Delta when he was around Delta, and she's a very attractive female in this series, and we know Jiraiya would have been very attracted to her. So yeah, he has his own characteristics. He's his own individual. He's not a direct clone of Jiraiya, but he's more so Jiraiya's son because he's a synthetic human clone of Jiraiya. Just like how Misuke is to Orochimaru and how the Shin Uchiha clones are to Shin Uchiha. But here's the thing. He could have just had an affinity for fire style since Jiraiya himself also had an affinity for fire style. So that could be why he's able to do all those fire style techniques. As far as his hair stuff, that could be instincts. He could have learned that simply based off of instincts. Maybe he has a natural affinity for jutsu like that since he does have Jiraiya's DNA. And then lastly, with the Rasengan, I know this is gonna sound weird to you guys, but he could have just instinctively knew how to do that. Like literally, the writers of the Boruto manga might not fully explain that. They could just say, as a matter of fact, they might not even explain that at all. They could just use the fact that he's Jiraiya's clone to try to get people to just accept the fact that he has all of Jiraiya's jutsu. So I could have been thinking too much into it. That's the whole point. As far as his Rasengan go, he could have already known that by the time he was created with Amato. But when Amato first created him, he could have known that instantly, or he could have just instinctively learned that by himself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.